This is a stimulus update and daily news report. Got some big news to share with you. President Biden announces some good news in his latest speech. I'll let you know in the video clip exactly what good news he's talking about. $300 stimulus checks are entering bank accounts in just 7 days from now. Gas prices are supposedly going to go a little bit lower before they stabilize, and the US is supposedly one of the worst developed countries in the entire world to raise a child in, and I'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a wonderful Labor Day off. Happy Labor Day to you and your family. And I am finally back home. It felt like forever. Thanks for your patience. We went away for my daughter Bella's 9th birthday, and probably one of the coolest things she did was a trapeze where she actually went on there, got caught by somebody else. It was so cool. I'll share with you other video clips and travel pictures later on in the video if you're interested in that. But first, let's go over this stimulus update. Why the US is one of the worst developed countries to raise a child in. Out of 41 countries analyzed by Pew Research, the U.S. is the only country that does not provide paid parental leave, and the U.S. is the only industrialized country that does not provide universal health care. Annually, the U.S. spends only $500 per child on early childhood care, leaving the rest to families. So I found this pretty interesting. Let me know your thoughts. If you have kids or raised kids in the US, was it hard? Do you feel like you could have used a little bit more help? Well, according to this article, other countries, so like I said before, the US only spends $500 on early childhood care, compared to Norway spends over $29,000 per child. Finland invests over $23,000 per child. Germany pays over $18,000 per child. And Chile, a relatively poor country, spends more than $8,000 per child on early childhood care. So pretty crazy to think about that how much money the governments in other countries spend per child compared to the US. Should something change with that? Also, it's talking about different child leave and things like that, how the U.S. doesn't have that, universal child benefits. Should children have access to more care, which could definitely help out the parents? Let me know your thoughts on that. Speaking of other international news, Germany announces multi-billion-dollar inflation relief package. So the German government just announced a $65 billion relief package to help citizens facing soaring inflation and surging energy costs as Russia cuts off its gas supplies to Europe. So it looks like, big stimulus package in Germany. And then new direct payments worth up to $300 will land in accounts in 7 days. The exact forms you need to have filled out. So this is going on in Illinois. So in Illinois, single taxpayers will get a rebate of $50, while joint filers will get $100, and families with dependents are set to receive up to $300, and around 6 million people in the state are set to receive the cash boost. Single Illinoisans will be eligible for refund if their adjusted gross income was under $200,000. So yeah, guess a bunch of checks going out then, and you have to fill out the IL-1040 in order to get that. So if you live in Illinois, looks like some money going out that way. And a Biden advisor on gas says, I expect those prices to continue to come down or stabilize. President Biden's top aide on energy security foresees good news this fall at the pump for Americans, but he hit a slightly more worrying note on natural gas in Europe. Yeah, natural gas in Europe, they're having a really tough time. But in terms of gasoline in the country, looks like it could go lower, assuming that there's nothing major that happens in the world, kind of like the war going on in Ukraine. But it could stabilize. It might go a little bit lower and then just plateau. They don't think it's going to go back down to the $3 or lower per gallon. When it comes to other good news, President Biden made a big announcement. Take a look at what he has to say here.
We received more good news. In August, the economy created 315,000 new jobs. The great American jobs machine continues its comeback. American workers are back to work, earning more, manufacturing more, building an economy from the bottom up and the middle out. But with today's news, we have now created nearly 10 million new jobs since I took office. Nearly 10 million jobs. the fastest growth in all of American history. In August, we also saw that the share of Americans who are working on our economy went up. Economists call that labor force participation rate. Working age women are now, for the first time, back at work at rates not seen since before the pandemic. Wages are up. Unemployment remains near a 50-year low. And yesterday, we got data that showed that manufacturing orders were up, but cost increases in supply chain items were beginning to ease. The week before that, we got data showing that price increase may be beginning to ease as well. The bottom line is jobs are up, wages are up, people are back to work, and we're seeing some signs that inflation may be, I'm not overpromising, may be beginning to ease. Couple that with the fact that gas prices have now fallen 80 straight days, the fastest decline in over a decade. And the price at the pump is now $1.20 a gallon less than it was the beginning of the summer. America has some really good news going into Labor Day weekend. But we're also seeing something else critical to the backbone of the American economy: manufacturing. Manufacturing is roaring back. Since I took office, the economy has created 668,000 manufacturing jobs, the strongest manufacturing recovery since the 1950s. And just last week, we've seen major American companies from First Solar to Corning to Micron announce plans to invest tens of billions, that's not a misstatement, tens of billions of dollars expanding manufacturing in America. We've seen major global companies like Toyota and Honda announce that they're choosing America to invest and build. None of this is happening by accident. These investments and this recovery are a direct result of my economic plan. Some people gave up on American manufacturing. Not me, not the secretary, not the American people. Make it in America is no longer just a slogan. It's a reality in my administration. I'm committed to building an economy from the bottom up and the middle out. You've heard me say that 1,000 times. But that's what's happening.
What are your thoughts on that? Is that news qualified to be called good news? Are things going to finally get better for everybody? Should President Biden give out more aid to struggling Americans? Should that be the good news that he should announce? Let me know your thoughts on that. President Biden also made another speech. Biden warns U.S. democracy imperiled by Trump extremists. So he made another little bit more politically polarizing speech. And McCall, a Republican, says a lot of Republicans were very offended by Biden's speech. Not sure if you saw that one. I don't want to get too much into the weeds of politics, rather just keep it stimulus related. But if you saw that other speech, do you think that President Biden was a little too extreme there, polarizing the Republican Party? Let me know your thoughts on that. And that is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully brighten your day a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, this is Bella. This is the tip of the day. And what I was gonna say is just enjoy the moments right now. Don't be like maybe I'm not good for this. Just do it. Something, if you want to do it, then you can, because it's just a one-time thing, because you should always do something now than always later, because then it might not be the right time and it might not be the right ending. You might have people or
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate your support, and thanks for your patience over this past week. Tried to balance as much family time as possible while still giving you a few updates here and there. I know I wasn't the best with that. I missed a few days, so I apologize for that. But now that I'm back home, back on our regular daily schedule, and we had a great time in Florida. So Bella got to do trapeze. We did a lot of pool time and hung out as a family, did some pickleball together, which was cool as well. And yeah, had a really good time. Anyways, thank you for your support again for that. And yeah, if you want to check out any of my other videos, my other channels, you could click right up here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.